All right, let's start this over. But let's start this over. So life creation formula. Life creation formula. I'm going to tell you the science I'm learning. Spent a lot of time with chat this morning, really corroborating this scientific data. And I want to give it as best as I can to you. So in the very beginning, first of all, what are we doing? When it comes to God, we got a lot of ideas. But can we corroborate the universe in a way that does not require religion to do so? That's the question. So number one, I've studied religion. I have been in the religion of Christianity, and I was in that since I was 12 years old. I'm 35 now. So at 12 years old, I started reading the Bible myself. When I read the Bible, read the physical Bible, problem with it was I had questions that did not have answers. I didn't have Chat GPT and AI back then. So I could not answer questions. So I kept them in the back of my mind, and I lived my whole life with questions in the back of my mind. So what did I end up doing? What I ended up doing was I ended up studying sciences, and I came across mental science. And I want to explain what I learned to you. Okay. So Yep. Up top in the beginning, there is an infinite source. Infinite, if you define infinity, infinity is without definition. You cannot define infinite. It's impossible to define infinity. So what I noticed in the Christian church, when I was there, they would say that Jesus Christ and God were unified, both eternal, and that Jesus was equivalent to God, the infinite. What's the issue with that? The issue with that is Jesus is a person. You cannot ascribe personal qualities to infinity. It's impossible. There are no personal, I'm not going to say personal qualities. You cannot ascribe individuality to infinity. So infinity is not an individual. So that would make it impersonal. Impersonal means it does not recognize human beings. It doesn't recognize individuals. It doesn't say, I understand you, I am me, and you are you. Infinity has no recognition of self in it. That means it's just like electricity or steam, but it's infinite and it's intelligent. And we're going to talk about intelligence in a second. So what is intelligence? Intelligence is characterized by responsiveness. If you study intelligence in biology, it's called agitation. So cells in your body respond by agitation. So if something happens in your body, whether it's good or it's bad, it's stressful or it's peaceful, the cells in your body will respond. How do they respond? They respond by going toward food sources and moving away from toxins at a fundamental generic level. They move toward food sources and away from toxins. That is the intelligence of your cells. So the characteristic of intelligence is responsiveness, right? Okay. Well, infinite intelligence is infinite responsiveness. Now let's talk about what intelligence is not. Intelligence is not intellect. Have any of y'all seen the debates, the Christian debates? Have y'all seen those? I don't know if y'all saw Christian debates where it's Cora, this young lady named Cora. She debated 20 Christians. When I tell you she dismantled the Christians, it wasn't even funny because the Christians were living and talking about dogma and just belief systems, but they didn't validate what they believed. Almost none of what they said was validated. And then you had videos that popped up afterward of a bunch of people doing reviews on it who were in the Christian community who just tried to, again, refute the young lady rather than really thinking. One of the things is she said essence, which is the infinite intelligence or infinite essence, it does not have, you cannot refer to it as a person. It doesn't have individuality. So this is a fact about intelligence. Now, the other fact about intelligence is everywhere. How do we know? How do you eat an apple and it turns into a physical body of yours? How do you do that? Do you consciously do that? Or is there an intelligence innate in you that digests the food and turns it into your physical body? Let me know. Which one is it? We all know the answer. You eat an apple and it's the intelligence inherent in your body that turns the apple into physical body, turns it into blood, turns it into oxygen. That's what it turns into. What's up, Ki? So that's what it turns into. So this is intelligence, infinite intelligence or infinite essence. Another thing that is equivalent or synonymous with intelligence is life. How do we know that? Okay, let's talk about it. Consider a goldfish, a dog, and a human. A goldfish, a dog, and a human. All right. All three are alive. True? Yes or no? All three are alive. Yes or no? A goldfish, a dog, and a human are equally alive. Okay. Now, you can't argue that all three are alive. But let me ask you, is a goldfish the same as a dog, and is a dog the same as a human being? The exact same. Answer is no, they are not the exact same. A goldfish, a dog, and a human are different. But what makes them different? What makes them different is the level of intelligence they display. So the amount of life a person or an organism can display, because a dog expresses more intelligence or more aliveness than a goldfish, and a goldfish expresses more aliveness than a stone. But we all know science has shown us that all four of those are alive. We added the stone into it. So let me just draw it up. This is a stone. This is a fish. This is a dog. Okay, that's a dog, by the way. Look like a pig. This is a dog, and this is a human. All right, here go all four. Now, the goldfish or the stone, its molecules are vibrating. That means it's alive. Anything that has movement has to be alive or it could not move. So it's moving, it's alive. The fish is alive. The human being is alive. The dog is alive. But the human being expresses more self-awareness, more intelligence than the dog does. The dog displays more intelligence than a goldfish, and the goldfish expresses more intelligence than a stone. Now the question is the intelligence equally present throughout all four? Yes or no? Is it equally present? The answer is yes. Infinite intelligence permeates all existence. It's everywhere, all at once, or else it could not be infinite. We wouldn't be able to call it infinite. But there is an infinite intelligence that is permeating all four. So what's the difference between a human, a dog, a fish, and a stone? The difference is this. You as a human being can recognize the intelligence in you. The dog cannot recognize its intelligence. It shows instinct. It displays instinct. So you could say the human being has will. It has choice. It's available to it. Dog has instinct. The dog has instinct. You can say the fish does not have instinct. I'm not gonna say no instinct, but it's just a lower grade. But the stone has no instinct. It's just automatic. So I would say the fish is equal to the dog in a way, but it displays less. So instinct and emotion, you can say the dog displays emotion. And this does not display emotion. So these are levels. The human being displays will. It has conscious choice because it knows what it is. Okay, the dog cannot display will, but it does display emotion and maybe some traces of thought. The fish does not display emotion. It's automatic. It's just an automatic creature, survival, you can say. And the stone shows no instinct or no self-awareness. So this is the difference between these four. It's intelligence. Now, what is intelligence? Intelligence is the ability to respond. Now, I'm gonna give you an example. Can you respond to a punch you cannot see coming? Above human, below the stone. Above the human is infinite intelligence, is above the human. Below the stone, you can say it does not exist. It's atomic intelligence. You can say it's atomic, but we don't even need to go that small. So you can say it's like this. It's atomic intelligence. So it's atom. You can say that. But cats definitely exercise will. Cats do not exercise will. They may look like they do. They may seem more intelligent, more aware, more sensitive. So they may even be above the dog, but they don't exercise will. Okay, a cat is still acting instinctually. It acts like a cat. A cat couldn't choose. It can't become self-aware and decide to walk straight up and be a dog or be a human being. It can't decide to get a PhD. So a cat can't do that. A dog can't do that. And that's because they are operating on instinct. They are just what they are. Okay, but a human being exercises will. That means conscious choice. I think it's a difference in thumbs, not will at the same time. Rewrite that sentence. I'm sure you meant something else. So what's the point of all this? Infinite intelligence manifests through the human being. It manifests through the dog. It manifests through the fish, the stone, and the atom. The difference is the level of awareness that manifests. Okay? That's a good question. We're going to get to that. Now, what's the point of this? Infinite intelligent life is infinitely responsive. Now, what human beings have the ability to do is will. And also that includes, since they can will, they can think. Human beings have the ability to think themselves. Okay? I understand that theory. It's like the thumbs give us the ability to use tools. But even if we had thumbs and we didn't have brains to use the thumbs, it wouldn't matter. If we weren't aware that we had thumbs, it wouldn't matter. Well, I'm thankful to be amongst conscious. There we go. Come on, baby. Now look, thinking. When you think a thought, I asked this. This is a question I asked. I said, when we think thoughts, what happens? What happens is intelligent life, which is everywhere, responds to us and our thoughts. Then I asked the question, well, how does it respond? Because how do we know it responds? A leaf responds. If you walk into a room, they measured this. A plant is sitting in the room. They have it hooked to electromagnetic indicators or measurements. They hook it up so they can see the energetics of the plant. Okay. When a human being walks in and shows love to the plant lights up. It realizes it's experiencing love. It responds to the love. So the plant is alive because it responds. So it responds to the love. That is intelligence. So we know that that's intelligence. Now, what happens when a human being thinks? What happens is the intelligence that is infinite and everywhere at once in a field of potential responds to the thinking. Now, the question is, how does it respond? In what way? The answer is it responds in likeness and in kind. What do I mean by likeness and kind? If I think good thoughts, then what the response from the universal intelligence is good. It's a frequency and a vibration that we label the word good. Good, the word, is not the frequency, but we use that word to identify a quality or a frequency. So when we feel good, the intelligence that is innate everywhere responds and our bodies feel good. Our nervous systems feel good. This is what's happening when you think. So now I'm gonna take it to a higher level. People talk about they talk about God and they talk about Jesus Christ and they talk about that being God, a human being being God. Why is it not possible for a human being as the individual to be God? Because when we talk about infinite intelligent life, it is impersonal. Why does it have to be impersonal? Because the minute that you say, I am me and you are you, meaning we split each other off from each other, there's a point when I stop and you begin. That would define infinity into a box, and a box by definition is not infinite. So there's no way for the infinite intelligence to be a person. It has the qualities of personalness, but it is not a person. Because if it's a person, it is a person and you're another person and we are not the same. So that would disqualify the title of infinite from the infinite, which is impossible. This is where all the theological errors creep into our thinking. When we believe, I talked to a young lady the other day. I was talking about June 1st. I'm like, she came into the live. She's like, this is good information. This is beautiful. And then she asked me a question. She said, but what God do you serve? Which God? I said, what you mean, which God? I serve God. She said, which God? Because I serve. And then she started to give descriptions to the God she serves. Now, what's the issue with that? The second you describe a God, you have given it a box to fit in. And whenever you put a box on something, it's a boundary or a limitation which infinity cannot go in. So her mind was trying to, she actually wasn't talking about God that she served. She was talking about a concept in her mind she served. This is what issue we have when it comes to different religions. It's not about the religion. It's about our mind. That's the issue. So how do we get over this limitation? We have to bridge the gap between infinite intelligence and ourselves so that we can create certain effects in the world that we like. How do you do that? Don't you want to work with God? Don't you want to work with an infinite intelligence without religion? For me personally, when I was in the church, I was asking just plain Jane questions. And every single time, it never failed. They would give me a theological answer telling me you got to have faith and not have doubt. You got to have blind faith. Walk by faith, not by sight. Walk by faith, not by sight. And I said, okay, that doesn't mean that certain things are not physically provable and true. I just want to know the stuff that we can understand. Okay, that's what I'm asking. Yeah, I coach people. Absolutely. But I'm wanting to know, I'm not asking about the stuff I can't understand. I'm asking to understand the stuff that is understandable. And there's plenty of things in the world we can understand. So I'm asking about that stuff. And guess what they would say? Stuff that you don't need to know. You just need to believe and have faith and believe. Because if you don't have faith, you're a backslider. I'm like, that's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking about being a backslider. I'm not doubting the faith. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you to answer a simple question. How is it that God can be God, infinite, but also a person? Explain how that's possible. Or explain how a virgin can get pregnant. Just explain that part. Don't tell me to believe in that. That is a scientific thing. If it happened, there's a way it could happen, and you just need to explain to me how it happens. That's what I'm asking. And guess what? Nope, you have to have faith in that. You can't ask those questions. Yes, I can. These are understandable. This is in the physical domain. We're not talking about something that does not have physical existence. We're talking about the stuff that has already manifested physically and has a physical presence that can be measured. A woman's womb can be measured and studied. We can understand that, at least what happens in the body. How does it happen? Explain it step by step to me. And they could not explain it. When I ask, okay, look, I'm not saying that Jesus did not resurrect, but explain it. How would that be possible? I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but I'm saying explain it though. You need to tell me how that's possible so that I can understand. Now, I can explain it today. You're right. They just won't. They can't do it. They can't. Because if you could, you would explain it. Look, it's just like Cheyenne Bryant. If you could prove that you were a doctor, you would have done it. Okay? You would have done that if you could prove it, but you cannot prove it. So you would never show you that you're a doctor. Just like if I asked you a question about something you believe, okay, if you actually know it, you would just show it to me. You wouldn't have any problem showing it to me because it would be plain to you, but you can't, so you won't because you can't. That's a difference, right? So, and the thing is, another thing about truth, okay? Here's another thing about truth. Yeah, this is the most important point. When we think, because I'm happy you asked that, what's the point of all of this? The point is, if we are inaccurate thinkers, here's what happens. I found this out. Intelligence is the ability to respond, right? Throughout history, if you look at the species in evolution, the species that evolve, meaning respond to what's going on right now and adapt and adjust to what's happening now, those are the species that survive and thrive in the future. Okay? The species that go extinct stop responding to the changes that are happening right now. That's what determines if a species survives and thrives forward or dies off. So, when it comes to the human condition, what's the equivalent of dying off or adapting? Here it is. When you realize something to be true, there's science that comes out that shows you something about the universe, like our consciousness affects physical matter. And you don't adjust your thinking and say, oh, I'm in control of the physical matter. I'm going to start using my mind to control my physical circumstances rather than feeling a victim of circumstances. I'm living in an old mentality and I have a belief system that external things affect my inner world. No, there are forces in the world that hurt people. There are governments that control people. You can't tell me that it's not external circumstances that don't affect us. We are in our condition because of them. That's the argument. Now, science shows that's the exact opposite. Because of the way we think in mass, we have created a circumstance of slavery and victimhood. But we're not a victim except to our own mind. Why? Because we know physical matter only manifests as our consciousness is, as what we expect. We know that for sure. So if I don't adapt and start to change the way I think after realizing the Nobel Peace Prize in 2024 was won for proving that, if I don't change my mind, I am dying. I will die off. And the people who adopt the new mentality, the new realization, and assimilate that into the way they think, they say, no, I'm in control. I realize that they already proved it. I'm going to now control my reality by directing my thoughts. You won't do that if you believe something from the past or believe you are a victim. Go to the Nobel Prize in Physics for 2024. Nobel Prize in Physics 2024. They proved that the universe is non-local. It means that you don't have to be close to something to affect it. Our minds and our brains and vibrations and frequencies affect things that are millions of miles away. It affects everywhere at once. Anything that is in harmony with the thought. That's what it proves. That the universe is non-local. That's what that means. You don't have to be next to something to affect it. I can affect a person millions of miles away. I can affect people on other planets with my thought. Frequencies affect all other frequencies everywhere. It's like when you hit a note on a piano and all the other pianos in the room start to vibrate that same tune. That's how it works. If I hit the C chord on a piano, all piano C chords will start to vibrate. It's called resonance. So that resonance they found is non-local. It's everywhere. As soon as you vibrate something here, everything that vibrates that same frequency everywhere starts to respond to you, no matter where it is. That's the proof. So when we say that, okay, my environment is responding to my thoughts. It's giving me back what my thoughts are. Absolutely. Yes. So it's giving me back what my thoughts are. If I don't adjust and start to think in that way because I have a belief system and a religion that tells me otherwise. Nope. God wants me to do this. God wants me to do that. It's not my fault. It's God. Okay. You believe that, but how much of what if you, when you realize that your life is 100% your responsibility and all the evidence comes out to show that you only getting what your karma is, meaning your thoughts are, you are only getting the residual effects of the vibrations you send out, which come from your brain. Once you realize that, do you change? And if you don't change, that is the definition of dying off or going extinct. And that's the point. Somebody asked, what's the point of all this? This is the point. We need to know how it really works or else we will die off. So this is my philanthropy. This is me giving you what you need to actually take control of your mind. I'm gonna give you another thing. So scientists talk about materialism. What do they say? What is the claim of materialism? It says material produces consciousness. The physical brain produces consciousness. Some people say that. Now, if the physical brain, here's my question. If the physical brain produced consciousness, why is it that you can have a brain without the consciousness in it and it's not producing consciousness? Here's a brain sitting there. The person died. They took the brain out of his head. They left it in a jar. And in the jar, the brain does not do anything. There's nobody there. There's nothing in the body. There's nothing in that brain. It's not animated. So what's happening? Shouldn't that be producing consciousness? If the brain produces consciousness, why is the brain not producing consciousness? That's the question. Other question. Before there was any physical thing in the universe, no thing, there was not a single thing. How in the world could the physical manifested world be produced by an invisible, non-physical essence? Before there was anything, there was no thing. So how could the physical be responsible for consciousness? It don't make any sense. The only thing that could exist in the no thing would be consciousness itself. It would be impossible. It is impossible for physical matter to produce consciousness. So how is that possible? It's not. Everything you have experienced has been experienced through consciousness. So this is just questions that you ask. Now, intelligent life is impersonal. This means God, infinite intelligence, does not care about you. It doesn't care about you as an individual. It doesn't show favoritism to one religion over another. It doesn't care if you are an atheist or if you are a Muslim or a Buddhist. It doesn't care. It doesn't have the capability of caring. It does not care about you as an individual. But you say, well, I felt like God cared about me. I felt like I felt like I was given these beautiful things in my life, but I felt God's love. Okay, let's explain that. Remember what intelligence is. Intelligence and responsiveness go hand in hand. Responsiveness means it responds. Now, it responds infinitely. So why did you feel God's love? The only way you can feel God's love, quote unquote, is if you first loved, if you sent out a signal of love. It's no way you can receive a feeling like God loves you unless you sent love out. It's impossible. It's impossible. Go back to any experience you had in your life. You cannot receive anything back, meaning the universe or God cannot respond to you in any way that you have not first sent out. It's impossible. There's never been a phenomena of returning light or returning energy or something coming to someone or a molecule or anything without it first being sent out of it. The signal has to first be sent out before it can come back. If you look at how satellites work, the signal doesn't come from the satellite. A satellite is beamed out to the satellite first. The satellite captures it and then spreads it out so everybody can receive DirecTV, Dish Network, satellite radio, etc. Excuse me. So this is the way it works. So the response is equal to what you send out. That's how it works. This is making sense. So God does not care about you. It's like God gave me a car. God gave me this beautiful house. God gave me this. God gave me that. Truth is, yeah. It's true. God did give you that. But how? God can only respond to you. Without you, there is no response. There is no car coming in. There is no blessing coming in. Without you. But who are you really? Here's the thing that we don't realize. Now, this is going to blow your mind. Once you realize this to be true. So this infinite intelligent responsiveness, what happened? The infinite intelligence began to create. Now, what made it create? How in the world could it start creating if it's just impersonal? It can't choose anything. How could it happen? How could that happen? Well, this started to manifest because it is life itself in principle. So life in principle is just what it is. Now, by the way, the entire creation, this is the theory, and you can try to disprove it. Actually, go look this up and think about it. There's no evidence of God in the legal system. OK, that has nothing to do with anything. Intelligence, life principle. Now, a life principle has to produce more life by its existence. The life principle has to produce more life by its existence. Since it is, life in all forms must be. So because life is what it is, this infinite life is what it is, it spontaneously manifests universes. It spontaneously, that means seemingly out of nowhere, it manifests universes. I'm gonna push this up because it keep zooming in and out. Can y'all see this? Okay, it spontaneously manifests universes. So the whole universe was created. Okay, so here go the sun, here go the planets, way out here. Here's Jupiter, here's some stars, here's all of that. Okay, this is the universe. All right, Sarah, see you. So this intelligent life spontaneously manifests the universe. It involves itself. Why? Because life is life. That's the spontaneous activity of life. So it develops a whole universe until, and by the way, all this development is generic. It's generic. What do I mean by generic? It's essentially robotic. It does not have choice up until this point. Atoms don't have choices. They just act in harmony with what they are. Plants don't have choices. They respond to where the sun is. It's a responsiveness. Animals don't have choices, even though they seem they do. They don't have choice. It manifested an entire universe. Why? Because it's manifested intelligence in lower degrees, all the way up till the point of humanity, human consciousness. It has manifested the lower levels of intelligence all the way till the human being. Generic growth stops right here. Because why? The furthest development of generic life is done. All the generic universe has already been created. So the natural next manifestation is the manifestation of will and choice. The human being was created able to recognize the law and itself related to the law, meaning become self-aware, and therefore will is born into the physical manifested world. By the way, why does this happen? If life is going to manifest at all, it has to manifest. If life is going to manifest itself, it has to manifest to a particular point. God, the infinite cannot manifest unless it has a vehicle to manifest in. It can't affect the physical particular world until it has a particular form to manifest through. So how is it going to manifest will? It has to create a creature or a vessel that has will, has the capacity to self-recognize. And now the infinite intelligence, this is so beautiful, infinite intelligence, the starter or creative principle of the universe, it's the same creative universal principle in us. The only difference is our ability to think. You are creating, just like the infinite intelligence created the entire universe. Created the entire universe. You, from this point of view, continue the process of creating the universe. You do. This is the human. The human really is God individualized. It's the same exact power that created the universe is in man. It's the same power. The only difference is the will of the human being. That's the only difference between this creative principle and this. There is no difference in the creative principle. It's just the creative principle from an individualized or personal point of view. What am I saying? If God were to be a man, he would be you. Boom. If God were to be a woman, it would be you. Because God is you. There's no difference in the creative principle in you or God. It's the same creative principle. But the creative principle is now only able to go forward by the human will. What does that mean? You have to actually choose. You have to get up and do it on your own. There's no more automatic growth. And this is the problem with the idea of Jesus Christ being a savior. You really believe that someone else can save you. It's impossible. Jesus could not save you unless you have prepared your vessel for whatever Jesus was going to give you. Even Jesus in the Bible would say, do you have faith? The requirement was that the person had to have faith first. Jesus couldn't heal any person unless the person had faith. So what does that mean? That means that they used their will to have faith. They prepared a vessel that Jesus couldn't help but bless him. Now that's if he was a physical person. Let me see if this works again. So the point is, you're the only one who can save you from here. You're responsible for creating a universe from a personal point of view. You are designed to manifest all the qualities that are in infinite intelligence that cannot be expressed generically. Generic life cannot express the beautiful will of God. Generic life cannot express love. It can't. because love cannot be mechanical. It has to be chosen. So in order for love to be expressed, it has to be expressed through a human being. Does that make sense? Who controls population of a country or countries is known as God's king, rules of laws. You got to explain that differently. You got to say that differently. Thank you. So what am I saying? Y'all, take responsibility. You're responsible for your life. It's not some person. It's not the narcissist husband that you had. It's not the sadistic girlfriend you had. You created that because the universe is impersonal. It doesn't care about you. It's responding to you. It's totally subconscious. What you think and emit from your brain dictates a response from the universal intelligence to you. So you can't get anything that you didn't create. The point is, take 100% responsibility for your life right now. Everything you have in your life, you created. Everything you will have in your life, you will create, including being a divine essence of God. You create the vessel for that. You can do that. You can be rich. You can be a servant. You can do anything, but you can't do it if you believe someone else is responsible for your savior. What that is spiritual bypassing. Because what happened is, the truth is, the reality, whether you want it to be or not, you're responsible for everything in your life. You have the ability to respond. So you have to use the ability to respond to expand your intelligence or ability to respond. Now, the opposite of respond is react. How do you react? That's what I realized. If you have rigid ideas and belief systems, let's say it's Christianity because I came from Christianity. A person who is Christian just believes a certain way and won't believe any other way. So they go through life believing a certain way. And a person who's aware and look at them, it's like, wow, they are completely lost. They're like, I need to save you. I need to save you. And you look at them, it's like, I don't want to be like you. Why would I want to be saved by you? And I don't want to be like you. It's so obvious I don't want to be like you. You're completely oblivious to the fact that you regurgitating what they tell you to say. You haven't thought a single thought of on your own. Why would I want to be like you? They can't even see it. That is called not adapting. They're not in the moment. They're not thinking. They are just regurgitating what they heard, and they say that because they have a belief system. It's rigid, it's stuck. So it doesn't matter what happens in their life. They still walk like a dinosaur. That makes sense. So you can see, I don't want to be like you, but they can't see it because they're not here. They're a routine. That's how you are. And at times we are all like that. We have unconscious habits and patterns that we just move by. Look, AI is here, right? How many of y'all are using AI? It's happened. How many people are resisting AI? How many people are using it? So it's going to be half and half, probably a mix or something, because here's what's happening. AI is here, whether you want it to be or not. It's just like the internet. Internet came and people are like, I'm not going to use that. That's for the kids. That's a fad. That's what they say. They didn't want it to be what it is today because they have to change. And the people who didn't change, their businesses failed. Why do you think businesses failed? They failed to adapt to what's going on right now. They don't respond. They react. They just are how they are. We've done this way forever. So that means you're not paying attention to how things actually are, and you're about to go extinct. You see it in business all the time. A whole group of streamers come up. New media. Streamers blowing up. Oh, yeah, we're going to continue to buy Super Bowl ads. Businesses are going out of business because they don't know how to advertise. They don't want to work with streamers. Meanwhile, it's businesses who are targeting streamers and saying, we want to work with you specifically. And they got the ad spin, they spinning it with streamers, the streamers blowing them up. Why? Because that's what's happening now. The people who can't realize that go out of business. This is responsiveness. Another thing, when it comes to relationships and love, it used to be the woman played a woman role, the man played a man role. You have to be all the way a man, you can't be any feminine. You have to be all the way a woman, you can't be any masculine. Against the rules, the unspoken rules, the rules. Now today, women can make the money that they want. They don't need a man to make money. So men have to adapt and adjust and become different and unique in a way that serves the relationship. Men are behind because they don't adapt to spiritual consciousness. They don't raise their awareness. They don't tune into spiritual intelligence. They're responsive to the moment. They're stuck in the past. Okay, well, you're going to get passed up by all the women. Same with women. If you don't realize or respond to what's happening in the changes happening now, you're going to get passed up. That's how it works. This is how it works. You have to adapt and adjust. Is this making sense? It's very practical. If you don't learn AI, because that's where the world is going right now, you will be left behind. People shocked. I think Meta, Facebook just laid off of 8,000 people because of AI. It's this big news story. Look, if you're paying attention, it's not news. It was inevitable. And the people who get fired, didn't you realize you would get fired? Answer is no, because they're not present, responding to what's happening now. They didn't know they would get fired. But if you were using your eyes, if you were just paying attention to what's happening, you would know Meta is going toward AI. They've always evolved. They've always moved with the times. They're definitely not about to stop now. Their trend and habit through history has been to evolve with the time. And if they can use AI to replace you because you're a headache, you get sick, you get pregnant, you got to take time off, you get tired, you can't work 24 hours, you complain, you go to HR for stuff, people don't like each other, you cause drama. Oh, I can get rid of that with AI because the job they did, AI can do. If you don't realize that, you are in the past, stuck in a habit. You need to respond. That's intelligence. So this is very practical. It's not intellect. You can use your intellect to argue anything. I can use my intellect to argue why newspapers are the best media. And I'll be right, except in real life. Yes, all that's coming. The other thing is, just think about this. When it comes to you, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. So I know that AI is coming and it already is here. And I also understand that that AI is going to replace all of the generic content and that people are going to want to be in person. They're going to want in-person events, right? So I realize this, and anybody who's watching and paying attention can see people are tired of, first of all, tired of influencers. Influencers are annoying because a lot of influencers are annoying because they're not doing anything in real life. So people are disillusioned with influencers. And secondly, AI is about to replace every one of those people who do generic videos on YouTube. People are going to want to be in person because AI is going to be able to do generic content better than everybody else. So people are going to want to be in person. AI, take the internet. Okay, it's a cycle. If you are paying attention, you know people want in-person events. You can feel it if you're paying attention and you're responding to the moment. You know people want to be offline and in person. That's where people want to be now. COVID was 2020? So that was 6 years ago. That was a long time ago. That was lockdown. The people want to be outside. Okay, so if you adjust your business, what we're doing, instead of going deep down the AI rabbit hole and trying to be an AI company, what we're doing is we're taking our company offline. So we do boot camps. So we do boot camps to help you transform your consciousness for business professionals. So if you're a person who makes money, you're out of survival mode and you have a base level of abundance, but you want to go deeper into your soul calling, now is the time to do it because AI will help you do everything else and making money is easy. But you want a deep soul calling. What we do is we do in-person events. We got a retreat that we booked in the Smokies earlier this year. We got another one that we're booking later this year at a resort. What were we going to do there? We're going to put people in person with like-minded people and help them go deep into their soul expression. It's needed. It's in demand. People need it and want it. By the way, if y'all want to be a part of that, let me know. You message me down here and we'll reserve the slots. So it's no limit. So think about that. That's moving with the times. Are you moving with the now? What's happening right now? Or are you trying to keep things the same? Nothing ever stays the same. Yeah, they do control it. They do control that. That's true. That's true. And at the same time, understand their goals. What is the elite's goal? They want to control the flow of money, right? They want to control the flow of money. Perfect. You want to control the flow of money. So if I make money, it's going to benefit you and your family? Yup. Okay, so you want me to do big business? Yup. Okay, so go make money and do a business. They're not going to stop you from doing business because they're fine. Look, you make $1 million, it's nothing to them. And that million somehow touches their bank account anyway. That's what they want. All right, cool. So I can go create my life the way I want it. I can make a couple $100,000 to $1 million. And I can be comfortable and y'all won't even bother me. And I can do my spiritual work and raise consciousness. Answer is yes. Okay, well, I'm going to do that. Do I have to think about what the elite class is doing and the control and all? What does that have to do with me? They're not taking my freedom to create. Now, if it comes down to the point where they do stop my freedom to create, then we got to push back. You see, population lacking in currency and purchasing power. I'm going to speak to that. So we don't lack anything. What we lack is imagination and ingenuity. That's the only thing we lack. Okay, so what is currency? How does currency get created? If you create something that is more valuable than anything in the marketplace and people start coming to you to buy it, understand that you have created a buying power. You have created purchasing power. If you create value that other people want, and what you create is superior to anything other people can create, not because they have more money, but because you have more imagination, you care more about your customer, and you start actually serving people at a deep level and doing more for them than anybody else would, you would be the dominant player in the space. So, does that create purchasing power? Yes. Can anybody stop you from going an extra mile for customers? No. They can't stop you. So why not put my effort and energy toward actually serving people? Because I'm stuck in another mentality. That's the only reason I wouldn't. But that's how you create. Okay, let me ask you this. You say engineering, monetary and fiscal, fractional policies and inflation. Okay, I don't know what all those words mean. It's a lot of words. Here's what I do know. Are you in a place in government where that stuff affects you directly? Let me say it a different way because you can say yes to that. Does that stop you from serving a group of people right now? Yes or no? The answer is no. You can go serve people right now. You can do it. Now, if you say yes, guess what you just used? You just used it's really a lack of will, but you just used your mind to create a limitation on yourself to stay a victim. That means deep down, you really don't want to. What you want is an excuse, and you finding it. You will create an excuse. You can have, and I know this only because you're making them now. I'm trying to wake you up. Okay, I'm trying to wake you up. You have an excuse for everything. And you will always have an excuse for everything because how do I know? Because you have an excuse now. How you do anything is how you do everything. You have an excuse for why you can't do what you want to do. You're lying because you have the internet. You're on the internet right now. I'm serving people right now. How come I can get on the internet, get on TikTok right now and serve people? Why am I doing it? I'll give you the answer, because I'm not making an excuse and I'm finding reasons to do it. What's up? In the building. Hey, I like the content, that setup, the image, the everything. I like it. I like what you're doing. You see? So that's what I'm asking you to, look, anybody in here, Who's going to give me 100 million in this business? Okay, you don't need that. What the hell you need 100 million for? What are you trying to do? What you trying to do? Good. Telling June 1st, if you are the type of person that, by the way, if you're out of survival mentality, you're out of excuse mentality, you understand that you are in control of your life. You understand that you are the director of your reality. You have taken control of your life. Look, Smart City. What job do you have right now? What do you do for a living? Tell me that. If you're done with the excuses, you ready to go to another level of your soul calling, because that's what it is. It's a Dharma time. If you're ready to go to another level of your Dharma, that's what we're doing June 1st. It's an identity boot camp. Who are you really? We're going to help you realize you are not this physical circumstance, but the energy that creates circumstances flowing to and through you, and you can use it however you want. Business consultant. Okay. You're a business consultant. How many clients do you have? By the way, anybody got any questions? I can speak to your direct situation. Monique, thank you for the love in the chat. Thank you for the love. You have 500 companies. Here's how I know you're lying. A round number is always a lie. When people say I'm a millionaire, I have equally $1 million in my bank. Lie. Right. Come on, bro. You wouldn't even be on this TikTok. You wouldn't have time. People just be lying, bro. I got 500 coming. 500 even? I don't even know. Who do you know who has 500 companies that they manage and consult with? You directly consult in 500 companies. People just be lying, bro. Just lying. Why are you lying? Bro said he got 500 companies he consulting. He just lie. Just be lying. I'm done with you. You get muted. Just a liar. Just a liar. Wow. Anybody have any questions on a specific situation? Just lying. Exactly. Anybody got any questions about their specific situation? About their specific situation. By the way, if you want to be in a boot camp June 1st, here's what's going to happen. When you get into a boot camp, we go through a process of removing blockages from your mind. Because that's what it is. You have blockages. The blockages are you don't believe you are the creator of your life. You don't believe you are 100% responsible. You don't believe that you can do things. You don't believe. You have gotten your beliefs from other people who are in your environment or authority figures that place those thoughts in your mind by suggestion. Do not speak your dreams to other people. Absolutely not. Do not. Do not speak your dreams to other people. As soon as you speak your dreams to other people, they will send you counter intentions. Bootcamp is going to be online. It's going to be online on Zoom. We do it 7 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at Central Standard Time. It's going to be a small group of people. Small group of people. We're going to deep dive into transforming identity. How do you transform identity? It's not about positive affirmations. That's not how you change identity. You have to actually go into your energy and change the energy and the frequency of your being. You have to cut into who you really are. Yeah, message me down here. I can show you how to do it. If you register, we got a freedom chat that we're going to be messaging in. Actually, it's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more days. We got 5 days till boot camp. 5 days till boot camp. If you want to be in that boot camp, you message me now before the spots fill up. Okay. After you come to a boot camp, I'm sure you're going to want to come to an in-person event. Why? Because it's going to help your real life. See, I'm very big on, I want you to take something from here and experience the benefits in your life. Countdown time, baby. I want you to take this stuff from here and it actually change your life. I can't do that in the TikTok live. I may be able to a little bit, but I can't change your entire life, your whole outlook, unless you get immersed in the changing thinking process. You have to change the way you are. And you change the way you are expressing yourself by changing the conditions of your mind. Your mind is in a condition. You have to change the condition. How do you change it? Repetition, immersion. What's the best way to learn a language? Go to the country where people don't speak anything but that language. An environment where people only speak that language. You will be speaking that language. It's just immersion. That's what we do in a boot camp. All right. Anybody got any questions? About to hop off here, y'all. Oh, yeah. This is what I would say to that. Is supernatural powers possible? Yes, but how would that benefit your life to bend a spoon like this? How would it benefit your life? Would it benefit your life if I can bend a spoon? Like the Matrix. What would that do? It would not improve the quality of your life if you learn how to bend a spoon with your mind. Learn how to be a little happier. Learn how to create connection with the persons you want, with the people you want. Learn how to make a little bit more money. Learn how to serve a little bit better. Learn how to get your body the way you want it to. Learn how to get some discipline over yourself. Learn how to love more. Learn how to be happier. Rather than wondering, you can do that stuff, but what is it going to do? Honestly. So the answer is yes, but what's the point? Will you experience miracles in a boot camp? We experience miracles all the time.
Oh, that's
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you can do that. Maybe in other lifetimes. Think about where you're starting from. I'm being realistic with you. Where we starting, how much training would you need in order to get to that point? Number one. Number two, are you willing to learn that? Go to the monks that do that. It's monks in this world that do that. Go to them. Give up your life right now and go find them. They will teach you. Are you willing to do that? That's really the question. And my guess is that you're not willing to do that, right? Go to Tibetan monks. Go to Tibetan monks or go to Sadhguru. Go to Sadhguru. He barely need to eat. He'll teach you. Go live with him. Go be with him. Go do it. If that's what you really want, go to Sadhguru. Now, are you going to do it? If I see you on TikTok next week, it's going to take lifetimes. But look, you can do it. You can do it if you want. I'm going to help you make a little bit more money if you're in scarcity. I'm going to help you go into your purpose and your real calling if you're out of scarcity. For the people who out of scarcity, I'm more confidential one-on-one with people. I want you to have the direct experience of raising your awareness with me. That's what I want. All right, look, I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all have a beautiful day. I love you.